Alrighty, hello everybody, happy Friday! I hope everybody's having a good one. Mine's been pretty good. I almost forgot to start stream avatars, so I'm sorry about that if you were like, where's my stream avatar? But it's there now. Um, yeah, so Friday, week is over. Really happy about that. I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready. I'm gonna go visit my parents this weekend, and I'm gonna bring some more of my stuff. I'm gonna fix my camera real quick because it's crooked and it's gonna bother the crap out of me. It's so subtle, but it was there. Midna's here to say hello. Midna, you wanna come say hi? You've been so snuggly and you need attention all day, every day, don't ya? Don't ya? Made a new emote that looks like you. I forgot to tell you. But yeah, so I'm going to be streaming some Ace Attorney tonight for this Friday. Hopefully, the sound last time was a little funny. So I'm hoping that I fix the issue. I fiddled with the sound settings. I was like preparing for stream way early today because I wanted to make absolutely sure that everything was good. But seriously, if I fucked up somehow, y'all gotta tell me, cause I know how it can be. OBS just be like that sometimes. But, yeah, so, without further ado, let's go ahead and get those, content and trigger warnings up. Hello, little Capamon that looks like Midna, you're so freaking cute. There is the Does the Dog Die webpage for you to take a gander at if you so need to. I'm also about to throw those warnings up on screen for you, just real quick. Like there they are. So blood and gore, visual and audio, gun violence, animal death, death and suicide. This is a murder mystery game, so we're going to be dealing with death and all of the types of things that can go alongside it. Alcohol, there is a prosecutor that throws his wine glass and drinks a lot of wine during court. I also currently have my blue drink tonight for my Friday night little drink celebration, I guess. So there is actual alcohol as well as video game alcohol. So be aware of that. Domestic violence. I think that is. I feel like I remember seeing some of that last time. Oh, yes. That there was like a couple and the wife was being treated as a maid and she was pouring hot tea on the husband. I think that might have been what it was referring to, but you know, just in case that's a thing. Also, it was played for laughs, so I don't know how that can be. I just want to give the warning. Self-harm, snakes, anxiety attacks, hospitals, bone breaking, hanging, suffocation, burial alive, all things that I feel would show up in later cases. Anti-Semitism and xenophobia, there is some real racist shit in this game. Very surprising. I think this is definitely one of the most, it's definitely new for an Ace Attorney game, but lots of anti-Japan sentiment in this very British game, I guess. Well, I mean, the game is based in Britain. It's not made by British people. I hope that wasn't misunderstood. But yeah, like racism, anti-Semitism, xenophobia, all that stuff. We haven't gotten to any straight up anti-Semitism, but it's not great. Fat jokes, because it wouldn't be an Ace Attorney game without it. Flashing lights, shaky cam, and claustrophobic scenes. So that is the list of warnings for you. If you so need them, please be aware of that. If you need to lurk for a little bit and not watch that, I totally understand. I want everybody to feel safe and comfortable here. That is the whole point. I hope to provide a place where you can feel nice and cozy, even if the game isn't super cozy at times. It's still a good place for you to feel understood, and so that's what I'm going for. But anywho, now that the trigger and content warnings have been listed for your perusing, I'm gonna get on over to the game, and so we are playing some Ace Attorney. So I'm gonna try my best to do my accents. I'm gonna focus a little more on voices maybe this time. Hopefully I can remember the voices that oh, my Switch is like, please tell me I have a controller. Come on. It's trying. There it goes. Alrighty. So, we are continuing our adventure. The adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Alrighty. We were in court last I checked, I believe. Oh god, we're starting off with my terrible German accent. I apologize. Okay, I gotta do my calibration phrase. Why is the voice like fine? Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court. Oh, look at these cutie pies. They're like children. Look, they have matching scarves. Oh. Constable Rowley beat sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir. Sleepy.
And I'm Miss Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
Oh my goodness. Wait, they're married? What? They look so young. Wait, how old are they? Do we have their profiles yet? 21 and 23. Aww. So little. I say as a 25-year-old. They're literally a couple years younger than me. Olive Green doesn't have an age. Herlock Sholmes is older than, He's retired at only 46? At only 46. I thought he was much older. Damn, I mean, Miles Strongheart is, like, much older. I digress. What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Thus, being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually. Oh goodness, my shoulder is like... my shoulder's bothering me. That's not good. Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge through some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check the meters and check that meters are reading true. And, do you mind? Crawling all over the place.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor. Okay. And a man of slumber. On the day in question. Midna, what are you doing? I hear noises. Are you being mischievous? Nope, you're just scratching your face on my Junko lamp. Per the usual. Smet and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Miss and Mr. Beat? Mr. and whatever.
That's right, sir, isn't it, Rawley?
Constable Rawley Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir. What a great witness he's going to be. Hey, no chewing on wires. I know you don't have any teeth, but no chewing on wires. No. Even with your gummies, that's not something you should be doing. No, ma'am. You'd think that she would stop doing that, but nope. Even with no teeth, she still chews on wires, or tries to chew. I guess it's more like a like mashing on. It's dumb.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident. Yes, sir.
Oh, poor little man. He is so tired. So sleepy. What the witnesses saw.
It was our wedding anniversary, and Ronnie was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at the nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Ronnie and I both saw him as clear as day. Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say. Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be crushed.
It's death knell, in fact. Because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate behancing, and on your wedding anniversary too. Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that.
They have matching scarves, and they're like probably one of those really annoying couples. Midna, please.
Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed, however, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friends, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without a doubt. God, without doubt, the accused Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Except that the man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking. Yeah, exactly.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense.
I have not even had that much of a drink. What is wrong with me? Let me take that one more time.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense. Commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord. Goodness. So.
Hold it!
No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Miss Beat?
Oh no, certainly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply.
That sucks. Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Roddy looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling?
What? I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Rolly, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
No, it doesn't. She's very smart for thinking that.
Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, sir. Yes, although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end. I know they're husband and wife, but they look like they could be siblings, which is kind of creepy. What's that now? My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty to patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such a noble cause I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure. So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then. But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Miss Beat puts up with a lot being married to a... Aww, this is really cute. Puts up with a lot being... Look at how sparkly their eyes are! Man, get you a man that looks at you like... Or a woman, or a person that it doesn't adhere to gender binaries. Get you someone that looks at you like that. Oh my god. It's so cute. Miss B puts up with a lot married to a Bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh, I love it. Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. Oh my god. Look at them. They're clearly newlyweds. Look at them. They're so cute.
Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
Yes, it is. I agree. If a little over the top, perhaps. Shut up, Ryunosuke. Don't be bitter.
And then, kindly describe what happened next.
That's so sweet. I can't. Oh, my heart is like so full.
Hold it!
Two silhouettes.
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim is pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume.
Yes, unfortunately it does. And you're certain that at times there was nobody else nearby.
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Oh, yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight. You can see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's the street lighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians. Before Sleep takes it from hold, your answer please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you said? Yes, sir! As a copper who spends all day, every day, keeping watch on the streets, I'd swear to it, sir! I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true. They're so fucking cute. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly. Oh, you're so freaking cute.
Oh, I love them. I hope they don't suck. I really hope they don't suck because they're freaking cute. They're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly.
Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now.
I think that's a little too cockney for the judge, but... What happened in the crucial moments that followed? She reminds me so much of, What's her name? Regina? Regina Berry from the Big Berry Circus. That's who she reminds me of.
Linda, can I help you?
You just gonna hang out? She just wants to be next to her mommy. How cute. Scattered something. What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then when we got closer, we realised what it was. Didn't we, darling?
What? Oh, yes, that's right. It was some old books. I see, old books. Yes, sir! The culprit had dropped a number of them all round where the victim lay on the pavement. Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
That rotten Japanese man did what he...
My gosh.
That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Hold it!
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. But we saw him! It was the man in the dock without question, sir! The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the tout mouth, the snub nose, everything! Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here. May I remind the court, as this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please, continue. Linda, do you mind? Ma'am. So rude. They think she's the center of attention. Yes, sir.
We went straight over, of course.
Hold it!
Let's see. Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I'm the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
What? Oh, yes, that's right. I asked Miss Beat to go. I was off duty by that point. But a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course. So I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene. Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box? Depends on crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know.
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please, you're making us blush, Annie, darling.
Yes, sir! What Patricia said, sir! Let's move on, shall we? Alrighty. I don't know what to present. But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Right.
The light from the street lamps is more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yes, and what of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, all right, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
Yes, it was the accuser, no mistake. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the tout mouth, the stuff. Unmistakable, sir! As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. That doesn't look good for us. So that's it. That's their entire testimony.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Pete saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no, then what do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here,
What are you trying to say?
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate.
Oh, right.
But simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in the statement somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Ugh, why do I always seem to be so up against it? Because you are the, you are the ancestor of Phoenix Wright, and Phoenix Wright was always like that, so that's how it goes.
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right, is it? Well, out with it!
What? No. Oh, no, it's really not that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember, and I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything, like... Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one, I could. Every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
That will do, Miss Beat.
No, it won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fists down.
Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Miss Beat. Might that appease you?
I don't know what voice. I cannot get the judge's voice today.
I thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling?
He's asleep. Alrighty.
Hold it!
What are the four names? Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say. Those purchased by the accused at a nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question.
After I'd been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure. I am a proud policeman's wife, after all. I did it for Rolly.
And what was your husband doing at the time?
Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest.
In the snow? That sounds horribly uncomfortable.
He works ever so hard, you know, ever so hard, don't you, my darling?
Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime.
Well, Miss Bead, seeing as you've regaled the court with tales of your powers of recollection,
Would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene?
I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was The Picture of Monsieur Somebody or Other, and What's It Yearnings, and there was Our Meal for Someone, and the last one was definitely The Thingamy Something. You see?
Well, he only purchased 3 books, so I don't know what that 4th one's for. Yes, I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory.
Oh, well, they were all along those lines, I'm quite sure.
There were indeed books found as the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it.
Well, what did I tell you? So I think it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling?
He's got a gun! Oh my god! Anyone who upsets my Patricia will have me to answer to. Put the gun down, sir. Oh my god. What the fuck? Terrifying. Yes, she really is. Okay. Skip. Alright, I think what it's trying to say is...
Objection!
Music stopped, so that's correct. He only bought 3 books, so she couldn't have seen 4. So you're saying that there were 4 books.
That's right, I remember all of them. The Picture of Monsieur Somebody, What's It Yearnings, A Meal for Someone, and The Thingamy Something.
I'm sorry, Miss Beat. But there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no! What flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books.
Your books?
Yes, and it details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
Only 3? But no, that can't be! I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you, 4 dirty old books.
Oh, really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see from this evidence as well, there are only 3 books.
But I just don't believe it. I saw them there, I swear it, I saw them.
No, madam, I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No!
Midna.
Objection!
Midna. I don't know if you guys heard that little meow. You are being such a brat today. You are being such a brat today. It's plainly evident that's not his accent at all. He is German. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm distracted by this cute kitty that's in my arms. That it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. Hello, shoulder cat. I got a baby, y'all. I got a baby. I gotta burp the baby. Gotta burp the baby. What? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well. You have no hope of disproving. So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? Ugh, he sees right through me. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. It was the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect. Midna, I love you. I adore you. I love snuggling with you. But it's time for stream. Okay? It's time for stream. Which means you gotta go. She's so needy, y'all. She's so needy. The neediest of cats, truly.
You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene of Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Objection!
But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books.
Quite right, only 3 can be seen in that print.
That print? You mean to say... Jesus.
Allow me to present another, one that shows the victim's hand.
Oh dear. The Lion's Pride. I don't believe it. It's the 4th book.
As you will observe,
The 4th book was hidden from view from the original print by the victim. Wait. Was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso. No! No! Order! Order!
there, you see, look at that, look.
Yes.
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling?
Yes, sir! Patricia's always right, sir!
Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Miss Beat, the titles once again, if you please. Oh yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other. The picture of Monsieur le Coq.
But the yearnings. I totally combined their accents there.
Canterbury yearnings.
A meal for someone.
A meal for Gabrielle, in fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Miss Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Did you hear that, Rowley? The gentleman paid me a compliment.
Yes, sir! Flawless, sir! Patricia is flawless.
But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Miss Beat mentioned 4.
There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly the 4th book is that which is shown in the photographic print.
I'm sorry, Counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt?
It's not odd at all, my lord.
That's not his accent. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm working hard.
As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The victim was holding her own book?
I wonder, what became of that 4th book?
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence.
Of course.
You will submit that in the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, counsel. My pleasure, my lord.
Damn it! We thought we really had him. Alright, the 4th book.
The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add.
What?
You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. Savage. The spurious longer route to the accused lodgings that you try to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I?
You see, everything we said is true. Isn't that right, my darling? Sorry, I totally messed that up. Yes, Pat, marry me. You're already married.
So perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Yikes. Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we're in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Oh god, seriously, I only have 3 penalties left. I should raise an objection.
Objection!
I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There's no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... Ugh! I can't think of what to say. Come on, Susato. Help me out here. Come on.
If I may, Lord Van Zeeks, it seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
I like how both of the women on the jury were like, I don't want to be boorish. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. See, this is what I'm talking about, where it's like a little racist. Actually, it's not even a little racist. It's pretty fucking racist. Yikes, for a lowly judicial assistant who has the audacity to intervene at a moment like this.
Oh.
Come on, Susato, don't let him scare you. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable.
Mr. Naruhodo.
One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance, so the court will hear you, madame. Go ahead, Miss Susato, please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
Yes, I understand, and thank you, Mr. Sato. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So, I'm gonna look at the 4th book.
Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride.
I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all, so it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride. That's strange. I think I've heard of a book by that name before, and very recently, too.
It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Naruhodo.
It's burnt!
Oh, look at this! The book has been badly burnt.
You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages.
What a terrible waste! Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
A book recently damaged by fire? Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? Interesting. This is the book that, Mr. What's-his-name lost. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked.
Take that!
The new piece, right? The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The 4th book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the 4th book at length. As the Senate being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Oh, yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track.
Yes, I think you might be right. So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case, which this fourth book conceals? The burn.
Got it!
Got it! I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question. The back? Oh, what do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp! So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh, but I do concede the point. If it bears no relation to the case, there's nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charged book hide? Well, she was in the apartment at some point, like she had to have been. A charred book. There's just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this sorry tome has suffered? Its owner. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon?
But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers.
Ooh, my shoulders, man, they're bothering me. Okay, the question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand is yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers. Good gracious, how could you possibly? Very fair. I will play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you in your little gamble, if your little gamble goes awry. I might just switch him to British at some point. I'm sorry, y'all. My accents are suffering today. Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book? John Garrideb.
Take that!
Music stops, so that's correct. The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb. The landlords. And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Miss Garrideb herself.
Oh, my goodness me. I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garrideb's wife. I'm his maid.
Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garrideb's house?
I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
Objection!
Yeah, I was gonna say, she should recuse herself from the jury because that is absolutely a conflict of interest. This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. Good lord, what sort of incident, counsel? A fire? A fire, my lord. Afraid to say it was happened in the blink of an eye, you know. Whole place filled with smoke, couldn't see a bonny thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bonny furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favourite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride. By Jove, the very same title that's the subject of this debate. Oh dear me.
Objection!
This is risible. Risible? I'm gonna say risible. All you told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself from the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Miss Garadeb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garadeb even amid the flames.
Oh, how awful. I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rowling?
Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir. The newlyweds versus the veteran lovers. It's true, though. When you love somebody, you should, like, always keep that in mind. Had all my favourite old novels in that case, but as soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Then the wife started her— oh my god, I'm going way too cocky. Then the wife started hurtling things at me. There was I, back up against the window under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books coming 10 to the dozen. The man had his back up against the window, and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious! Are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
Yes, actually. No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there is no report of the Garadeb's window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Garadeb household. But it is not conceivable that the window was open. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time? Not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling verses that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter.
Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel?
Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garadeb's wife? Probably. I believe it is a possibility, my lord. She could have opened the window to try to fan the— oh, who's speaking? Oh, who's speaking? Who's speaking? And I knew it had to be her.
Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster.
That's racist.
You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward, a mean coward.
Really?
Claiming our little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight, honestly.
Implying that I'm merely posing as a man for appearance's sake. How could you?
It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name.
No, I assure you that was never my intention.
Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears, that's what I should do.
Oh my god, I'm going cockney again.
It's utterly unforgivable.
Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here now listening to this Nipponese spouting his fancy foreign theories? That's racist. But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could have possibly stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with a mustache. And he ran away from the scene too.
I do declare you're right.
It's true.
Yes, what did I tell you?
Makes sense to me. Sorry, what's that? Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zeeks? In truth, my lord, I fear these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. Oh, Kyle's online. Hi, Kyle. But then one must always exercise patience in order to save us the best vintage. No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... The leg. The fucking leg. If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. What? No, forgive the discourtesy this time? In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defense's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty! 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 Guilty!
Oh no. That's not good at all. No! Ooh. Oh dear. Oh me, oh my. Thank you for that unambiguous response. That's twice now. It's over.
Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up.
Mr. Sato.
Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet.
You're not suggesting...
Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You can still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination. Again. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve. I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. That's right! Damn it! To be continued. And it will be in a minute. I have to go take a quick little break. A quick little break. But I promise I will be back. I'm gonna save my progress. And I'm gonna throw up my, I'm just gonna go ahead and save over this one. Yeah, I'm gonna overwrite the save. Alright, just, you know what? I'm gonna overwrite this one too. Might as well. Just so I'm safe on both fronts. And I have the autosave. So I am going to, I'm gonna press pause right here. Well, until it lets me. And then I'm gonna take a quick... I'm gonna take a quick little break. I will be right back, y'all. Hang tight. Oh, hi, Gaia. And thank you so much for the raid. Hello, raiders. I'm so sorry that I was on a BRB. Hello. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I'm so embarrassed. No, you guys are great. I'm so sorry. I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for the raid. Oh my gosh. Shout out, absolutely shout out to you. Thank you so much. Welcome, raiders, if you're new here. Bodily functions are important. You were playing Hearthstone. I hope it was good. Welcome in. Oh, I love your little stream avatar too. Oh my gosh. Hope you guys are having a good night. If you're new to me, I'm a variety streamer. Greetings, fellow human. I'm a variety streamer here. Oh my gosh, thank you, Yogurt Epics, for the follow. I appreciate it. I play a lot of puzzle, visual novel type games, lots of story stuff. How far you've gotten since that? Not super far, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm in the middle of losing my court case here because all of the jury members have decided that my client is guilty, which is not good. So
I've considered the defense counsel's request for further summation examination of the jury,
and I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. Classic jury jump to the conclusions. Absolutely. They're like, guilty. They just love sending those fireballs right into the scale. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. Also, cheers, everybody. I have my blue drink. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman. We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Alrighty, here we go. The judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
if there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider.
You know what the case is? Okay, don't spoil it, because I'm still new. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
Dear me, it was only a book. Hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble.
Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes.
The sneezes? The sneezes.
Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems.
With one notable exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. Again, I'm super sorry for my terrible German accent. I cannot do a German accent. I've tried my best. So the court must accept the fact it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, wide into the... No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime.
Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone.
I fail to see how it can be argued any other way.
That means I'm afraid that during this summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts.
But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabs the woman and how? Those 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a methods by which the attack was conducted. Why is he helping me? And there I was thinking this might be hard. What, like it's hard?
But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends.
Ugh, no pressure then. I feel kind of screwed. I'm not gonna lie. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with... Oh my god, that's not German McGee. That's the judge. Let me try that one more time in the correct accent. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel. Oh yes, my lord. All right, Ryunosuke, focus your mind now. It is... Okay, there are so many people. There's so many more people in this Ace Attorney than there are in other Ace Attorneys, so it's really hard to voice act all of them. I'm trying my darndest, though. That's for sure. It's going to be juror number 4, or should I say, Mr. Garadeb.
We have a book that disappeared from the Garadeb's house on the evening of the incident, and the 4th book found in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the two. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Miss Garadeb and how she reacts, even to the things other people say.
So that's a clue that I need to press everybody. Sleepy boy back there in the corner.
Hold it!
But as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it make? There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes, that's the part I have a problem with. Sorry? Well, at the point that the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said. That's not exactly how I put it, no. Well, anyway, the point is the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it? I suppose it is, since I've nothing witty left to say. Alright.
Hold it!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean?
Oh my, such a delight on your face. But I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I'm a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman.
That's great. I guess.
If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say?
And not at all extreme.
As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So despite 1 or 2 minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say?
She is so fun to voice. I like her. Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right. I'm glad you omitted rational there. Yeah.
Hold it!
But what about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, you see. I should know. I am a totally average London man. But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Then what's the point in even having windows, huh? Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering. Oh, sorry. Somehow I need to show there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise.
Hold it!
But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not?
With flames of love, I'll have you know.
There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb.
When he brought it upon himself, it's playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree?
Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Miss Garrideb.
Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute, nothing more. And I won't have any more of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime.
Right, well, we'll see about that. But what about juror number 5? Poor juror. Yeah, I was just gonna say, she keeps hitting him. He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Miss Garrideb's relentless onslaughts.
It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is.
Hold it!
You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here. Well, him and me both then, like I said before. What? I told you already, I'm a day labourer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me. Another shining example of marital bliss, then. A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well, do you know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember. Oh my god, she hit him so hard that he forgot? Sorry? It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out. Oh god. Helpful.
I wonder if Mr. Beat will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf.
Don't even go there, Miss Susato. There must be some way to jog his memory about this.
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case?
Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, lad.
Oh boy. Could you tell us more about that fire?
It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top, it did. What a sight to behold it was.
You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship?
Of course not. It was an angel cake.
Oh, I love angel food cake.
To celebrate my birthday, obviously. It seems that that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke.
Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold. But how did you catch a cold from a fire?
What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear.
There it is. There it is. The windows.
The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it and put me in the hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry.
I knew it was devil worship all along, but something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason.
We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street, as well as how he or she could have done it.
Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary.
I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation.
Yes, I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. Just a connection might do the trick. All right, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike.
That's the spirit.
Ooh, shoulder and neck. Sorry, y'all. So, okay. I'm gonna pit home slice against...
Objection.
Music stops, so that's correct. These two jurors' statements clearly contradict one another.
They do. Exactly how, counsel?
Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me.
What's that you say? Speak up, lad, speak up.
Juror number 3, do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh! Exactly. On the day in question at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garadeb household, and Mr. Garadeb had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my.
Oh, my hat. Oh.
Excuse me.
Ma'am, juror number 4, do you have something to say? Do you have something to share with the rest of the class? Do you have something to share with the rest of the class? How much tea is in that pot? That's a lot of tea. Miss Garadeb.
Oh, dear me. What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am?
It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now.
What is it?
When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window?
What? I beg your pardon. What are you insinuating?
The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window.
And what if we did? Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering.
Even though your house was on fire?
Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise.
Of course, I should have realized.
That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have that added to Miss Garadeb's formal statement.
So we gotta pit that against... Hold on. Hold on. Oh my god, did she throw the knife out the window and that's how it stabbed the victim? Is that where this is going? Did she accidentally stab somebody because she was pissed at her husband? Wait a minute. Is that where we're going with this? Good God. Maybe...
Objection.
No, that's not right. Okay.
Hold it.
That was incorrect. Ah! Maybe I'll press the new statement.
Hold it.
The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garadeb told us he had been reading.
Well, I really couldn't say.
On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading?
I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes? He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset?
Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, as you well know.
I really don't. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I don't think he knows, actually. I don't think he's been in that situation.
Oh, boy.
Oh, oh, oh.
Excuse me.
Oh, 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 oh. What is it, juror number 5? You know something? I remember what it was. Can't say I've ever had to throw the entire... Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think that's healthy. I don't think I've ever actually been in a fight with somebody where I was, like, literally throwing shit at them. Unless you count a snowball fight, but that's, like, not even really a fight. That's, pretty wild. And she wasn't just throwing stuff at him. She was throwing stuff at him while the house was on fire. So, like, she just, like, blocked out her entire environment. She got tunnel vision on that boy. Maybe wanted to. It's like, I could recognize the possibility of getting there, but I don't think I'd ever gotten there, so I totally understand. I was listening to what this granny was... Oh, granny. Oh, shit. For a bad joke, maybe. Brought it all fighting back.
Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Miss Get-a-Deb, or the maid, I'll have you know.
The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. Yikes.
It was about 2 weeks ago. I just got back home after work. Like, I put my head in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny I dropped out.
Oh my god, that is really bad. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard the half of it, my boy. Oh. The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. Oh my god. Did you run into her knife? Did you run into her knife 10 times? I'm just kidding.
I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight I lost the day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear, stuck into the wall next to me. It did about 1 inch deep.
Good god! No words, just terror.
I could smell it then, you know, the god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you.
Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined. No, I wasn't thinking that. Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like. Yeah, damn it, use a real weapon. What? Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think.
Alright, well, come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare. I'm gonna press it one more time, just to make sure I got all the information. Your wife really threw a kitchen knife at you.
That's right, she was chopping meat with it. Had a tidy edge to it, believe me. Still, it's all memories, isn't it? I started with that smile she threw me when we were courting. And since then, the list of things she's thrown at me has grown along with our relationship.
That's weirdly sweet, in a way. Kind of. There was a cup, then a glass, and a pot, a kettle, a chair, a wardrobe. A bathtub? She hurled a whole bathtub and wardrobe at this man. Is she, like, made of steel? My god, what's her workout routine? Because I need to get in on that. I want to... She's probably buff as hell. She either buff as... Your wife must be even beefier than you. Girl is strong. The girl is strong. The game always knows. Me and Ryunosuke, we're on the same wavelength.
And things came to a head last week when she threw me right into the Thames.
still, she's not so bad when she's calmed down. She's a little sweetheart, really. I'm so happy for you. If you want to know what I think this whole idea of ladies first that we're so obsessed with in this country was thought up by some clever lads who'd been tossed into the Thames a few too many times by their wives. That's terrible. That's a very interesting theory.
What a terrible thought.
On the face of it, this juror's statement just sounds like a really extreme anecdote. But I think it might turn out to be an extremely powerful weapon. A weapon I might be able to use to make the jurors accept an alternative explanation here. So...
Objection!
there it is. Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection.
Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once.
Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative?
Oh my, whatever do you mean?
An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about? We've demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garrideb's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book, like a knife, could have found its way from the Garrideb household to the street below. I really, if this is where this case is going, I can't believe it. What's that now? After all, Miss Garrideb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4?
What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole?
I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened. Now you listen here, you Eastern Gala. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it? The knife? The knife? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garrideb household to the scene of the crime was...
Take that!
That was correct! Oh my god, that's really where we're going with this. Juror number 4, Miss Garrideb.
What now?
I must apologize in advance for this, but I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Good Lord, counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man. Well? My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb were in the throes of an argument. Miss Garrideb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that. The book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out of the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand? Huh, even my missus hasn't got an aim like that. Yes, I admit there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Oh my.
Ah! Miss Garrideb, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not?
Oh,
Ah! Oh. Did she faint? Did she fake fainting?
I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word after all.
Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman? I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny didn't mind. Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gents. That's 4 jurors, so we're back in action. That's all it took. Wow, this is back and forth, back and forth. We did it.
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo.
So, as a result of the... Oh, sorry. I lost my accent. So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors' leavings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. And this trial will continue. Oh, Mr. German Man is gonna be so pissed. He gonna be so pissed. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks, how does this prosecution wish to proceed? Just gonna take a sip. This child is rapidly descending into a farce. Like a cocked vine, the first few sips are bitter enough. No, don't waste it! What are you doing? But what follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zeeks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond, but let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourself better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time? It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and I'm so bad at German accents. So bad. Between the crime scene and the Gerlitz household runs a rather wide street. Briar Road. It's Briar Road. That's what it is. Which means that the distance from the Gerlitz house to the scene is some, yes, 15 yards.
Let me see. 15 yards? That's around 14 meters.
These units of measurements barely mean anything to me. 14 meters? Oh, that's a little farther than I'd imagined. And as we ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having potential significance, the first book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book wantonly hurled by the lady of the house traveled some 15 yards, to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? He keeps calling me a friend, but I don't feel like he's a friend. I will be right back real quick. I'm not even gonna do my BRB screen. Just give me just a second. Super fast. So fast you won't even know I'm gone. See, I'm back. You didn't even know I was gone. Did I disappear? You don't even know. Alright, and did the jackknife follow an identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? Record time! I'm so fast! I'm like the Flash. I'm like, oh my gosh, what would SpongeBob, when his friends get the superpowers and Squidward's like, Krakatoa! What is SpongeBob? SpongeBob gets the super speed. He's like, you wanna see me go to that rock? You wanna see me do it again? That was me. That was me right now. I cannot remember. I have a vague knowledge of many things. I can't remember what his superhero name was. This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day as a victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. Oh shit, don't insult the Herlock Sholmes stories. You're gonna upset Susanoo. There's nothing I can say to that.
That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice.
See, I knew she'd be pissed. Miss Susanoo. Oh, hello. Minda's come to say hi. Minda, come say hi to the readers. Say hi to everybody. Can you look here? Look up here. Say hi. Minda says hi, everybody. Oh, heading out. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like the voices. Thank you, Just Joanne. Minda, they say good night. Hello, kitty. They say hello. Good night, Just Joanne. You have a good one. Thank you for stopping in. All right, go on. That was Midna, my little baby, my sweet baby child. Miss Susanoo. Oh, she's back. All right, well, she's gonna do her own thing.
Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he?
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
My lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead.
The prosecution may consider the idea fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Garrett, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Saints alive! A cross-examination of a juror? Order! 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 Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
The whole bottle. He threw the whole bottle out. And unnecessary. Lord Van Zeeks. There are already witnesses at the stand whose testimonies the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth to it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witnesses? Yes, sir! Constable Rowley Beat reported for duty, sir! Do you mind, Winda? Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir.
Oh, they're so heroic, these London bobbies.
Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more.
Oh, Rowley, my hero, you make me swoon.
They're so freaking cute. I love them so much. Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request.
Oh.
And order the witnesses to stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir! This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garradab. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garradab house are top-hinged casements.
Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir. Well, this is quite startling. Top hinge casement windows. That detail was not in the I'm gonna get this. I swear I'm gonna get this. That detail was not in the police report, Constable. Oh, yes. Oh, sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. Ma'am? That is my straw that you are pawing. Do you want me to hold your hand? She lets me hold her hand sometimes. Sometimes. You can't see. I wish you could see. One day I want to get a cat cam so you guys can see all the cute stuff that she does. You're so cute. You're a little menace, but you're so cute. No, stop! No. I'm sorry, but... No. What exactly is a top hinged casement window? Ma'am? Don't make me don't make me take away your desk privileges. And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Of course, sorry.
I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garadev's room.
Alright, I'll try.
So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. But as a top-hinged casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see.
I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents its opening? This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir! In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below. No. You see the problems then. Good, your education in windows is complete. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already. That can't be!
Did you see that, Rowley? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
Oh, yes, my darling, I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me.
Oh, Rowley, you're so strong.
How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed. Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination. Savage. My lord... Oh good, another desperate situation. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb. Yes, it does. I'm gonna prove it. How can you say that for certain? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty.
He showed us that before, didn't he?
Did he? I can't say I remember. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you a Bob is good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes admittedly. So.
Oh, Rowley, you're so manly.
Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Aw, they're so fucking cute. They're so freaking cute! Alright, Midna. You're gonna have to go on. No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb? Ah, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir. Yes, well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garradam's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing. Yes? I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the Great British Institution of Scotland Yard. I hope you'll take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here. So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through without shedding a few tears. Thank you. I'll try. Constable Beats warrant card. Alright. Why don't we take a good little gander at that? That's probably a... Let's take a little look-see at the warrant card, because I feel like... Alright, item 1. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. Alright? A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Metropolitan Police Regulations. Wait, this is Principles of Policing, Metropolitan Police. 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. Okay, so if it wasn't his beat, he doesn't have jurisdiction, obviously. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Okay, that makes sense. I'm shedding tears.
Hold it!
By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct? Yes, sir! They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see, so they're restricted as to how much they open. And therefore, anything thrown out of the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark them out. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Oh boy. Yes. Directly opposite the scene of the crime on the other side of the rather wide road. Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable. And what would that be, sir? How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garradam's house is furnished with? Oh, well, sir, it's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday. Oh?
Excuse me.
Ma'am, do you have something to say? Do you have something to add, Miss Beat?
Sorry.
You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that?
Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course, I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rowley's beat. It was so close, you see.
Oh, I hadn't realized.
Oh, yes, that's Street Briar Road. That's the boundary between Rowley's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love?
Constable Beat. Huh? Oh, yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with the interviewing the occupants of the Garradam household yesterday. The house is on my beat, you see, sir. That really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garradam household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside Mr. Garradam's house? Yes, ma'am. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat. I see. I was unaware of that.
Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, We would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a Bobby after all.
Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners.
Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Roly for all his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling?
That must be it, Pat, my love, that must be it. I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record.
Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately.
Cool, case file updated.
And now it's my turn, I think.
Hold it!
But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark.
Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star.
Sorry?
The star that will guide us to eternal happiness.
Can't it guide you to answer the question? If a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star.
And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. But Rolly being inspector, I would have said 3 times at least.
Of course. What with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that this is a book, not a knife across the sky before you? Yes, sir. That is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir. It certainly seems like they're telling the truth.
And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her.
Hold it!
Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right?
That's right, yes. If it had been on Roland's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course.
Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat.
So Roland told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost on the way.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. You're what now?
Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly.
Oh, please.
So I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
He fell asleep. Home Slice absolutely fell asleep. I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sap.
Hold it!
Nothing to report. That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the yard's honor, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. I beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me. This burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was originally in the Garradup household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burnt as well? Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene. Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. Okay, so that's probably a clue. The two mysteries of how the knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. Must be some common thread between them.
Can I ask you something, please, Mr. Lawyer, sir?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Your You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell.
What? I wasn't really. I mean, what's she doing?
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuses, I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you? Yes, Miss Beach, I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one.
That was a very loud mutter.
I heard that. That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch on, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rowley won't.
Duly noted, Miss Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
Hold it!
Miss Beat, nobody is questioning what you've told us.
I saw it! I did that evening! I saw it clearly! That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene! And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction?
Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rowley. He gets ever so cross.
Oh, does he?
Excuse me.
Trouble in paradise? Constable Beat, is there a problem? No, sir. No problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Oh, well, in a way, sir, yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all. You mean Miss Beat lost her way on the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I set off to find the police box in the next beat over from mine. But she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 15. Oh, Rowley, you're such a tease. What? But the reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet? Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Rowley's so romantic. He saved up for it with farthings and halfpennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Yes, how romantic. It's kind of romantic.
I'd forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling?
Yeah, yes. But that was just between us.
No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise. Really? Oh.
What was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Miss Beat about the bouquet.
And I think we will ask Miss Beat about the bouquet next time. I'm gonna go ahead and save. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like feeling, I just got like a wash of like really tiredness. I didn't sleep very well. Oh, I've never played these games. They're amazing. I love the Ace Attorney games. I am gonna call it for tonight. I did not sleep very well last night, and so I'm feeling pretty exhausted. So I'm sorry to cut this one a little short, but we will continue this next time. Thank you guys so much for like tuning in. Thank you for the raid again. Oh hi guy. Thank you, Titus. I will. I'm gonna get some water and I'm gonna. No, oh my gosh, you do not need to apologize. I'm sorry that I can't really. I just can't anymore. I've had a long week and it's been a long day and I wish I could keep going. I really do, but I'm tired. I like woke up really early this morning. So next time though, It's been like a burnt out kind of week, but next time I promise I'll be ready to go, especially since just warning, next week I'm taking a little bit of a break from streaming, just a quick break for a week, just to kind of recharge, regroup, do all that stuff. But I'm going to come back and I'm going to be rested, recharged, and ready to go. Follow me on all my social medias. You can keep up with me there if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Y'all are great. And I hope you have a great weekend. And I will see you on the other side. Bye, guys.